In the spirit of World Cup and the finals approaching, I started wondering what it would be like to have the World Cup on the moon. I mean, what would that even look like? And so I found out. Before we get into the game, there's a few things we need to consider. The lunar surface is covered with impact craters, volcanic channels, and mountain ranges, believed to be formed from molten rock. So aside from picking a site where we would actually have the football game on, we also need to get excavation equipment, which can get quite pricey. This year, NASA announced the candidate location sites for the Artemis 3 mission, which will be the first of the Artemis missions to bring crew to the lunar surface, including the first woman to set foot on the moon. If we are ever going to have a football game on the moon, there is a high chance it will be close to one of these locations. The location sites for the Artemis program will be on the poles as seen here. Lunar day is approximately 14 days long and lunar night is the same duration. The temperature of the moon varies greatly. Daytime temperatures near the lunar equator reach a hot 250 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 120 degrees Celsius, 400 Kelvin, while nighttime temperatures get to a chilly minus 208 degrees Fahrenheit, that's minus 130 degrees Celsius, 140 Kelvin. The moon's poles are even colder. I have spoken to you about lunar regolith, aka moonda. It can get everywhere. It can actually affect the player's ability to see because it can cover everything. You see, lunar regolith is abrasive. It can get into the fabric of spacesuits, so you might actually need a new spacesuit for every football game, which can get very pricey. If you want to know a little bit more about spacesuits and lunar regolith, check out the link of the video that I made a few weeks ago in the description box below. So imagine you're a football player going from one end of the football pitch to the other. Pretty simple, right? Well, on the moon this can get a bit complicated because as you move, you can reach greater heights, and this is because you have less gravity holding you down. So you might want to add more weight to your spacesuit, for example, a weighted backpack. This will help you stay on the ground, basically like hold you down a little bit more. The only thing is, this could also affect movement because you're carrying more weight. I did some research and collaborated with two physicists, Patrick Rennie, an engineer from Reaction Engines and also the president of Mars Society, where I volunteer at, and Ekaterina Seltikova, whose primary focus is advanced space concepts and technologies. They helped me figure out what it would be like to play football on the moon. Besides all these harsh lunar conditions, what would it be like to play football on the moon? Let's break it down by focusing on gravity, friction, and atmosphere. The moon and Earth are different masses, which means they have different gravitational forces. So the moon has far less gravity. It actually has 1/6 of Earth's gravity. This means that the football can reach greater heights and get more airtime. Less gravity means when the ball hits the lunar surface, lots of energy would be lost. So when the football hits the lunar surface, the bouncing effect will be less pronounced compared to when a football bounces on your local football pitch. Lack of air means no air resistance, so the football will travel somewhat faster. Now, the good thing is, if there's no air, there's no medium to carry sound, so you won't hear the referee's whistle, unless you add a communication system to the spacesuit, or you could just leave that. It will be hard for players to get a good grip on lunar surface. Now, this would make running up and down the pitch a lot harder. So this is because the force that's pulling you down is a lot less on moon compared to the Earth. Plus, lunar regolith, it's sort of like a sandy feel, which means you don't get that grip that you need in order to play football properly. Also, the leverage that you get when you push your feet off the lunar surface isn't very good. So you might need some sort of spacesuit footwear that has really good grip. And actually, spacesuit footwear does have good grip and is made to have good grip. I just don't know if it's enough to play football. How could football change on the moon? Due to the gravity acting on a ball, the football would weigh 6 times less than it would on Earth. So increasing the mass of the football by 6 times would make it equal weight to a football on Earth. Newton's third law states for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the football will keep moving until it is slowed down or stopped by gravity or another player. But remember, the gravitational force on the moon is 1/6 that of Earth's. So the gravitational force will take a lot longer to slow down or stop the football. So it may be a slightly slower game to watch. So that's what football could look like on the moon. Would you like to one day see the World Cup on the moon? If so, let me know. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what team you're supporting, how you feel about football in general, or about this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully one day I will see you in space.